If you recall from my last video, the excavators dug out our land and installed a new septic system. The concrete crew poured a stem wall foundation and a rat slab for our crawl space, and the framers put in sill plates, which were the very first pieces of wood in our entire house. Now we're on to week 3, and from here things moved pretty quickly for the next 5 weeks, despite the snow and sub-freezing temps.
January 29th, it's 15 degrees in the middle of the day.
Welcome to the next stage of Garden Betty Builds a House, framing the first floor of our 2-story home. There was a lot going on in the 3rd week. This was when we really started getting excited about our house taking shape. The floor joists all went in first, which took about 4 days. Once the floor was framed, the plumbers started routing all the water supply lines below the floor. PVC and PEX tubes ran through the joists and snaked their way around the floor plan between the bathroom's kitchen and pantry. After that, in week 4, the beginnings of our energy-efficient HVAC system were roughed in. Throughout the conditioned crawl space, we had ducts suspended from the bottom of the floor joists with all the plumbing. The concrete guys also came back in week 4 to pour a 1,000 square foot slab for our garage. Don't let the guy in the t-shirt fool you. It was below 40 degrees that day. It's a good thing that all of this happened when it did, because soon after the concrete dried, we got another round of snow and everything was covered in a sheet of white.
There's about 4 inches of snow in our crawl space right now.
Of course, this was also when we started getting the rest of our framing lumber delivered. Piles of lumber for the garage, the subfloor, walls, and ceiling were on site during week 5. All the plumbing and HVAC in the crawl space got covered up with 1 1/4 inch OSB, which gave us a strong, sturdy subfloor. In week 6, the snow finally melted, and we made some vertical progress with the framing of our first walls. This was one of the coolest parts of the build so far, because we could start to visualize each room as the walls were assembled on the ground and laid in place. We were even there when the framers raised the very first wall in our whole house.
Here we go, raising the first wall.
It was the north wall in the family room, and then the second wall on the south side of the house went up 30 minutes later. Just like that, boom, we had 2 walls up. Once the exterior walls were in place, the rest of the first floor went up pretty fast. They put in all the interior walls, and it was kind of like going through a maze of rooms and closets. We could finally walk down the hallways and even through the walls and get a real-life feel for the layout. We were totally loving the views out our windows and where our big slider will be and how each room flowed into the next. As we moved into week 7, the garage walls went up and the first floor was almost completely framed. The crew finished building up the front porch, the engineered I-joists for the ceiling were moved over closer, and that meant we are ready to start on the 2nd story. But before we get into that, here's a quick tour of the ground level floor plan.
Hello! Welcome to our newly framed house. The first floor walls went up this past week, so here's a little tour. This is our living room. Have a little seat on our couch right here. Feel the warmth of our future fireplace where the wood-burning stove will be. This is a 12-foot sliding glass door. Ta-da! And it opens up onto our future deck with a really nice view, and hopefully it'll be all landscaped out there, possibly overlooking a future pond. This is where we can sit. Have a little snack or a meal right here at our dining table. Then we continue on. This is an all open floor plan. Our kitchen is right here. And this big window is where we can sit, look out over that same view, wash some dishes, load the dishwasher, cook a little something on our stove, open our fridge, and then through this pocket door opening, we'll be in our pantry. So it's a pretty big pantry. We're separating the fridge and the freezer. So here in this corner will be a standalone freezer. Oh, look at that. And then all along this wall will be shelves full of jars, all different canning jars. And then some more appliances and some more cabinets over here. This little pantry room also kind of doubles as a mud room, because then we can go outside this door and You can kind of see out through the doorway there. That's where the garden is. And then as we come back out, the pantry, then we enter the other half of the house. Okay, so where you're standing right now, you're in our garage. I'm standing in the doorway of our mudroom. So come take a look at the northern half of the house. As we enter this room, this is the mudroom, big open closet. Have a little bench here with a nice window above. Then as you come out here, we have like tiny little office right here. This is kind of like our mail drop zone and random assortment of like keys and bags and maybe kids' backpacks, I'm not sure. This is just sort of like a free-for-all office family command center. Then you keep walking. Oh, this is the opening to the living room and dining room that you saw. And here, these are these stairs going up to the second floor, which is not framed yet, but hopefully that will be soon. Next, we'll have a little closet right here for cleaning supplies. Where you see all of these pipes here is our guest bath. So wash your hands, take a shower, have a nice view of the neighbor's trees. Next to the bathroom, with this nice big window will be our guest bedroom. And then just next to that is our family room. So all of the ceilings in our house are 9 feet, except for the family room, which is going to have a nice vaulted ceiling. So I'm kind of picturing a nice TV here, big couch here, and maybe like small shelves or a desk or something. And that's kind of where we envision the kids doing their homework and being nice and quiet. And then this opening here is where we go back into the main great room area. So now we're back in the kitchen.
From here, we head into week 8 and the next stage of construction, framing the second floor.